Okay, guys, I'm going to discuss the possibility of a civil war. Um, it's certainly possible, and it's looks like it might be a lot closer than any of us thought it would have been, even a few years ago. Um, you see, back in the day, like less than 10 years ago, the idea of a civil war was largely a joke, you know? But now it's become a very real possibility. I mean, I saw one video and I have talked to several people. It's like gun ranges 10 years ago are not what they were, are not what they are now. I mean, they people say that back in the day you would look awkward because if you carried an AR-15 into a gun range because you would meet a lot of people who had hunting rifles and they'd look at you weird. Nowadays, you bring a hunting rifle, people will look at you weird because they all have AKs, AR-15s, M1As, SKSs, and all that crap. You get the picture. Anyway, there's a lot of grievances in this country all over the place. Some real, some imagined, but they're all relevant because they're what could be the tipping point. And that being said, is uh, the whole thing is that idiocy is, I mean, there could be a shot heard around the world, so to speak. And you see, January the 6th, 2021, that was a wake-up call for all of us. This shit can happen. And if you look at things like Charlottesville and all that jazz, um, you know, it's been a heck of a ride, you know. However, you do have an armed populace. You do have a lot of people not wanting to join the military because it's too woke. A lot of people getting out of the military because it's too woke. And now, there's a lot of things I agree with. I believe in cannabis legalization. I believe in gay rights. And, a lot of that stuff. I believe that transsexuals, if they want to cut off their dicks and grow tits, that's fine with me. If a girl wants to grow a dick and cut off her tits, that's okay with me too. And grow facial hair too. That's also okay with me. However, I don't know of anyone of good military fiber who would want to hear about Emma's two moms. I mean, just look up woke army commercial on YouTube, and then type in USMC Dragon Slayer commercial. Notice a difference. It's not very hard to see what will motivate people to join. That being said, is you know, you, I mean, 20, 30 years ago, there were a bunch of guys with Ruger Mini 14s running around and occasionally AR-15s, AK-47 shotguns, but they didn't have all the crazy kit like, magazine pouches, body armor, and ballistic helmets that actually were worth something. Now, that shit's mainstream. And if you look at Charlottesville, it's been pretty Charlottesville, even January the 6th and the George Floyd protests. It's mostly been limited. What violence there is has been mostly limited to fisticuffs, loud shouting, and all that jazz. And it's basically a lot of people are just live action role playing. However, you can soon find that the super soakers turn into AR-15s, so to speak. Now, they're already bringing out the AR-15s, but that they haven't used any for the most part, at least not yet. And you see, but there is one factor that is stopping a civil war. One factor that's more important than all the others: comfort. We live very comfortable lives. Now, if you're listening to me, I'm going to just assume that you are in the poverty line, okay? Chances are you live in a house that has air conditioning, Wi-Fi, TV. Even if you don't have cable, you still have Wi-Fi, and that's pretty cool. And you have air conditioning, you have heating. You drink clean water. You can have ice cubes year round. You can have pretty much any fruit or vegetable you want year round. You won't die of smallpox, polio, or measles, or a cut that could be treated with a first aid kit. That doesn't happen anymore. You have access to so many wonders, and we are all comforted, spoiled little brats. It's just that simple. I mean, you can get in your car and take a day trip for a journey that would have taken weeks and you might have died on. Is now just kind of a casual day trip. And I mean, we can fly through the sky and all that jazz. We live better than kings did, for crying out loud. I mean, forget the peasants. I mean, you live better than King Henry VIII. You live better than the Yongle Emperor. You live better than Ramses II. You live better than Caligula. And, that's no small feat. And we're pretty comfortable. But when people start getting uncomfortable, that's when shit will truly hit the fan. And what we need to do is we need to keep talking, whether you be on the far right, far left, or somewhere in between. We just need to keep talking and get this issue resolved, because everyone across the world is watching. NATO is watching. Russia is watching. China is watching. Iran is watching. Every Islamic terrorist group is watching. Israel is watching. And, hell, everybody is watching. And it's just, if the U.S. turns into a civil war, Russia will take full advantage. It could attack the Baltic states. It will bulldoze Ukraine after it loses all the support we're giving it. There's just so much, and oh yeah, China will attack Taiwan and just swallow it. Not only that, you could see a joint Chinese North Korean invasion of South Korea, and that would put Japan into a very precarious position, no doubt. I mean, a civil war in the United States would not just affect the people living here, it would affect the whole world. There are quite a few tipping points that I think could tip the scales, so to speak, and turn the U.S. into a frickin' war zone. I am not going to talk about what those are just yet, because I'm afraid that it might give somebody an idea, a professional provocateur or something like that, and I don't want to do that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be good, y'all.